So in conclusion, when compared to the many previous works by the Walt Disney Company, the Buddy series fails in many important areas. With very lackluster characters and no engaging plots whatsoever, the people behind these films seem to care more about distracting children with adorable animals than giving them any real substance in regards to writing or character development. There are charming moments on occasion, but the series as a whole doesn't live up to the Disney name in the slightest. I'd say it's a 3 out of 10 at best.
Thank you, Left Brain. That was the most stimulating 8 hours of my life. Right Brain, do you have anything to add?
Puppy dogs! Aw, look at all your puppies. Look at them rolling around and jumping and snuggling and so cute!
10 out of 10. Okay then, looks like you both have some very contrasting opinions. Well, obviously, this airheaded idiot wouldn't know a well-structured movie if it hit him square in the face. For your information, a movie has hit me square in the face. In fact, you were the one that threw it at me. Well, if you guys are so torn about this, I'm actually about to do a review on the first film in the series. Would you guys like to join me and maybe tell everybody what you think? If it'll give me a chance to educate the masses, then sure, I'll humor you.
Yee, my first review! Yes, yes, yes!
Awesome! See you guys in an hour! Hey, since we have some time before the review, you want to go pet some real puppies?
No thank you, I'm allergic.
Well, what about kitties?
I'd rather not.
Bunnies?
No.
Hamsters?
No.
Birdies?
No.
Ponies?
We are ponies, you nitwit.
Oh yeah. Ooh, how about we pet each other?
Your lack of mental capacity worries me very much.
So is that a yes, or... Pop quiz. What do Ice Age, The Land Before Time, and Alpha and Omega all have in common, aside from the fact that they're animated? Well, there are 2 similarities that I can think of. Number 1, they're all pretty enjoyable films. Ice Age had a really likable main trio of characters, awesome humor, solid animation, and was a great first step for Blue Sky. The Land Before Time is hailed as one of Don Bluth's greatest works, and even one of the best animated films ever made, for very good reason. And Alpha and Omega, despite a generic storyline, had some cute characters and side plots and an awesome soundtrack. But the second similarity is that these 3 charming films have sadly been suffering from the dreaded sequel overload. Now don't get me wrong, I love a good sequel. I'm a firm believer that if you have an interesting story to tell, whether it be with something brand new or with a pre-existing property, you should do it. Heck, a lot of sequels out there actually fix flaws of the original and can even surpass the original in some cases. But if your only reason for making a sequel is this, it's likely going to end in disaster. And sadly, even the mighty Disney has succumbed to this horrible condition. And no, I'm not talking about the Cars franchise. I actually like all 3 of those movies. And most of the Disney direct-to-home sequels aren't too bad either. No, I'm talking about the series that sacrifices cuteness for substance, the Buddy series. For those who don't know, the Buddy series is a bunch of direct-to-DVD movies which center around this posse of cute little one-dimensional puppies that go on adventures to save holidays and other stuff. I'm honestly not a huge fan of the franchise because while I love cute animals and just cute things in general, I don't feel that that's enough to hold a movie together. If your movie has cute animals and good story and characters, then sign me up. But sadly, the Buddy series seems to think that the only leg they need to stand on is cuteness, and as expected, the movies always come crashing down because of it. But those are just the sequels. What about the original film that started this whole debacle? Well, I think it deserves a fair shot, and that's what we're gonna give it today.
So prepare yourself for what's to come,
including all the cuteness. This is Air Bud. So the movie starts off with,
It's a birdie! Look at the little birdie! Look at the birdie!
Calm down, Righty, it is way too soon to lose control. Trust me. So the movie starts off with the clown driving a truck so depressing that even the head on the roof looks like he wants to die. The clown is headed to his next gig at a birthday party with his canine companion, but despite some silly costumes and a ton of energy, the clown is awful at just about everything he attempts. This was clearly before the time of online reviews, because if this guy had any previous customers, this family would have probably known ahead of time that hiring him would have been a bad idea. The dog then gets a chance to perform his part of the act, and he does a pretty good job. Until the grand finale where he makes a mistake, and then all hell breaks loose. The clown completely loses it and says that the dog is going to the pound.
You're going to the pound! pound! Hear me? You're going to the pound!
Yeah, get rid of the only part of your show that got any kind of applause. That makes perfect sense. Trust me, dude, until YouTube is invented and fail videos become a thing, you're not gonna gain any fame on your own. So, as the clown drives away in hopes of putting his dog in the slammer, the cage falls out the back of the truck and into the street. A car almost runs the cage over, but luckily it only nicks the side of it, setting the dog free.
On earth is that box standing in the middle of the road? We're okay. Everyone's okay. We're okay. Fine.
Okay, I can buy that only the son got a glimpse of the dog since the mom was occupied with the baby, but she's just gonna leave the box in the middle of the road like that? Wow, we almost crashed because of that box. Might as well just leave it where it is so that other drivers have the same problem as we did. We're such good people. Speaking of the son, this is our main character, Josh.
And seeing as this is the main character of a Disney movie, that likely means he has yep, there it is. Certainly saw that one coming.
Yeah, sadly Josh's dad had passed away. And not only that, but he has to move to a new town, get used to a new school, and his mom even signed him up for a band which he has no interest in whatsoever. And as expected, he's completely awful at it.
Okay, blow a little harder.
Well, he may not like the trombone, but it is the perfect instrument for this scene. On his way home from school, he happens upon an old abandoned church, and lucky for him, it is a huge basketball court right behind it. This gives him a chance to get in a couple plays and even get a glimpse of his soon-to-be friend. Ow! Hey, watch where you're throwing that thing, kid. You're not the only one here. And go get yourself a real ball. This looks like something a clown would balance on. I should know. And don't worry, that was only a joke. Luckily in this movie, the dog doesn't talk at all. Yup, no more poorly voiced puppies with CGI mouths, just a simple boy and his dog story. It's like Old Yeller, but with basketball. And a lot less violence. After a genuinely sweet moment with his mom, and trust me, there are plenty of sweet moments in this movie, Josh heads over to basketball tryouts. And even though he didn't move a muscle throughout all of practice, the coach still decides to give him a position. As the always loved and appreciated
Equipment Manager!
And he figures, why not? As the days go by, he spends every day after school at the old church court, cleaning it up, practicing his skills, and of course giving the dog a chance to warm up to him. I'm honestly really glad they decided to take their time with this relationship instead of just making them meet up and become b-ball buddies right off the bat. It not only makes their connection a lot stronger, but it feels very natural and true to how befriending an animal would actually go. Kinda like Toothless and Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon when they first met up. So he plays with his new buddy for a while and even decides to give him the name Buddy. Either that or he just read the credits. Later, he decides to sneak Buddy into the house to give him a much-needed bath, but when his mom comes home from work, he tries to keep his new friend hidden. I smell shenanigans! So yeah, Buddy doesn't really make the best first impression, and Josh is forced to hang up some lost dog flyers. But Buddy ain't having none of that. Aw, isn't he just adorable? Alright, Buddy, time to find your real owner.
No, I want to stay with you. Die, flyer, die.
In the end though, Josh really doesn't want to give up Buddy, and makes him a little makeshift doghouse in the backyard instead of making him sleep on the street. His mom is displeased with this, but Josh eventually convinces her to let Buddy stay at least until Christmas. And aside from a few stolen newspapers and a bad taste on her toothbrush at one point, she ends up warming up to Buddy since she sees that Josh is a lot happier now, and that makes her happy too.
Do you think maybe she'll let him keep the dog permanently?
Gee, where did you pull that ingenious idea from?
Time goes by, and aside from a generic bully stereotype bugging Josh, life seems to be looking up for him and Buddy. Josh even gets acquainted with the school maintenance man and finds out that he used to play for the New York Knicks. And much like Doc Hudson from Cars, he hasn't lost his edge one bit.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. He may be old and wrinkly, but he still plays b-ball, damn!
At long last, Christmas arrives. But uh-oh, where's Buddy? Where did he run off to this time? Did the mom take him away to the pound like Josh expected her to do? Well, what do you think? Called it. Yep, Josh's mom decides to let him keep Buddy, since he's honestly the best thing to happen to the family since they moved. Good on her. But the good things don't stop there. Josh gets a mysterious invite to a private tryout, but decides to go back to the church court to think about it. And it is at this moment that he discovers the amazing truth. His dog is awesome at basketball. Oh, come on, you're just gonna drop something as silly as a dog being good at basketball on us like that? There wasn't even any prior hint that he might be good at the sport. Actually, Lefty, the scene at the beginning when Buddy performs does at the very least show that he has quick reflexes when it comes to playing with balls. It's not basketball specifically, but it does at least show that he's been training with balls all his life. Or at least how long he's been with that clown. Huh. A very subtle and well-established Chekhov's gun. Alright, carry on. Josh shows up the next day for tryouts, and he actually makes the team. But he's not the only one. Yup, Buddy manages to wow the entire school to the point where they allow him to be the team's official mascot. But sadly, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as it seems the team's coach is abusing one of the players for not playing well. And this of course gets him fired. So with the spot open for a new teacher, Josh makes a special recommendation. The maintenance guy. Ooh, this should be interesting. Some drills from an actual professional. And what does he end up doing? Ooh, I love this game. Okay, bounce. Hold? No, hand. Open hand. Round? Sphere? No, ball! It's a ball! Was I close? Was I? He's not playing charades, you idiot. It's a training exercise meant to enforce the importance of team building and working together. Oh. Can I go next? I think I've got a good one. Yep, on his first day of coaching, the maintenance guy makes it clear that teamwork is key to any team's success. And it shows, with the team slowly getting better and better. And as the mascot of the team, Buddy gets to do some exciting stuff of his own. Oh, come on, I can understand putting the dog in a sports jersey since he's representing the team, but shoes too? It's clear they just did this so they could have a cute image for the front cover. Actually, Lefty, it was shown before that Buddy was slipping all over the wooden floors, so it's clear the shoes were just made for extra grip. It's the same reason humans don't play basketball barefoot. They need extra traction for their feet. Fine, just keep watching. The Wolves go on a winning streak and actually manage to get a shot at the state finals.
Oh yeah, everything was going my way. Or so I thought.
Yep, old Happy Slappy sees Buddy on TV and shows up the very next morning to take him away. All hope seems lost for our heroes until Josh just happens to find the house of the owner while walking home from school one day. Well, that's incredibly lucky. And the luck extends further as it turns out that Slappy owns one of the flimsiest trucks on planet Earth. I mean, geez, what was holding that thing together? Chewed bubblegum? So the two make a very narrow escape, but Josh knows that if he keeps Buddy, that crazy clown will just keep coming back. So he decides to let him go and... just watch.
Go on, buddy. You're free now. Go. Go on. Buddy, get it. You have to go, buddy. Please, buddy. Go. Get it. Go. Get out of here. Don't you understand? Get. I don't want you anymore. Get. Want to play, buddy? Yeah, good boy. Come on, buddy. Yeah, good boy. Just like we always do.
Here, you might need this.
What for?
Him.
Is he gonna be okay?
Yeah, at most he'll be going on for 1 hour. 2 hours tops. Hope you got good flood insurance.
But the sadness doesn't stop there, as Josh's team ends up getting smoked by their opponents. With only 4 players and a few minutes left, a win seems impossible. Until... And that's not all. He actually gets to play for the team. How is this possible?
What are they, nuts? The dog's a registered member of the team. He practices with the team, he travels with the team. You check in your rule book. Bet you won't find anything in there that says a dog can't play.
He's right. Ain't no rules that the dog can't play basketball.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of things that the rulebook doesn't spell out, but that doesn't necessarily mean you could just make your own assumptions. Based on this logic, if aliens practiced with the team and then wanted to play, we're just supposed to let them, cause it's not written in the book, so it must be allowed. Not that I'd mind. I mean, have you seen aliens play basketball? They've got some serious game. They win at the last second.
Of course.
But just as they're about to celebrate their victory, old Slappy comes back and tries to regain custody of Buddy. But his papers were ruined when his truck took a dip, so he's got no proof of ownership. This leaves them with only one decision. Let the dog decide.
Come on, Blue. Look what Daddy's got for you. Come on.
Ah yes, this guy's got the right idea. Trying to lure the dog over with the very thing he used to abuse him with. What kind of logic is that? You don't lure over a horse with a whip or a cat with a spray bottle. Did that crash give you some kind of brain damage or something? Because I totally believe that. Well, of course, Buddy goes to Josh, Slappy gets put behind bars, and everything ends up all peachy keen in typical Disney fashion. So, that was Air Bud, and in all honesty, it was pretty well done. The story has a lot of predictable elements and cliches that you've probably seen before in other movies, and it's all around pretty generic. But it honestly makes up for it with some well-acted and likable characters, some genuinely sweet emotional moments, fun to watch basketball scenes, and of course a cute and lovable pooch right in the center of it all. It's worth one watch at the very least. What do you guys think?
I'd honestly have to agree. While not groundbreaking in the slightest, it's at the very least competent. Everyone gave a convincing performance, the pacing was never too slow or too rushed, there were quiet and intense moments whenever necessary, and much to my surprise, all the scenes starring the dog playing basketball were practical. No digital enhancements or editing, it was an actual dog the entire time, which is rather impressive. I'll say I enjoyed it for what it was, and I'm not disappointed I saw it.
Can I speak now? Of course, Righty. What did you think of the movie?
Cute.
I'm going to assume he liked it.
Well, I've got a part of my brain to revive, so until next time, I'm Finn the Pony, and I hope to see you all real soon.